CG Market Watch, cryptocurrency news that you can use. Today on CG Market Watch, the first news is 2014 versus 2018 Bitcoin price correction. So it's said that this year will likely be significantly shorter. So do you all believe, that Bitcoin's price correction will be shorter this year?
Well, based on this chart, right, it shows that the current 300-day, especially in 2014, the 300-day period that it took for the price to drop 70%, that was back in 2014. Right now, you're having a 200-day period and a 72% drop. So based on this chart, right, it just goes to show that there's going to be a shorter period of correction, right? And then after that, led by a more bullish sentiment after that. So if this chart is truly that accurate, right, Quartz revealed a chart comparing the price, by the way, and we will have it in the episode. Okay, many similarities in their chart, and therefore it can be expected that the correction time will be much faster as well. This, of course, is by Arthur Hayes, BitMEX CEO. He believes that Bitcoin is one positive regulatory decision away from climbing through to 20K. Now, do you believe that 20K is possible by the end of the year, gentlemen?
It hit 20K last year when there were less people involved, when it was less popular. So there's no reason it can't hit 20K this year when everyone's looking at it, especially rich people.
This is something that is very strange. This year, we have so much positive sentiment, so much, but we are having Bitcoin prices literally trending, right, or range bound at the prices that I actually sold off when it was 5,000, and that was a pretty memorable period because it was when we first started CG Premier. At the same time, it was the very first time I purchased a car, right? And that was when BTC was at $5,000 right? Yeah, and I regretted doing that, I was like, wow, this is not happening, because after when I sold off, the market prices started to trend upwards, and we're talking about went up to, it was like when it went to 10,000 I was hurting very badly, and then when it went to 15,000 I was hurting even more, and when it hit to 20,000 I was like, screw this car, man. It was
so how much is your car worth now? Did it drop in value?
Well,
definitely, right? Everything drops in value,
on.
and that was the part that I was very, very frustrated about. So I'm thinking, how is it that this market is currently at this price? It just doesn't make sense, man.
Okay, I think the one greatest question I have is, Arthur actually mentioned it's one positive regulatory decision. My question is, what exactly is that decision?
Yeah.
And where is it coming from?
Which country?
Right, which country is it coming from? Like, we kind of all know that particular country, we're not, possibly, but through 20K and even to 50K by the end of 2018, 50K feels very far for me. Like, it's a double in terms of market cap. We have to go from 500 billion to about 1 trillion. That means he's trying to speculate that the market could even hit possibly 1 trillion by the end of 2018, right? So,
not unreasonable.
Yeah.
Not an unreasonable amount, by the way, for crypto.
Yeah.
And with regulatory, we've been talking about regulations for many episodes, in fact, because it seems to be the most important key factor to open the gate, right? And without the regulations in place, institutional money cannot come in, which brings us to the next point, which is crypto firm Blockchain has a new product for institutional investors. So Blockchain has announced their new service, Blockchain Principal Strategy. So this is only for institutions or family offices. So definitely the more sophisticated high net worth clients or institutions who are interested to step into investing in startup companies, getting equity, or doing OTC trading or over-the-counter trading. Now Blockchain has that service, and this is definitely happening all around. Of course, Blockchain is one of the many that are offering these services. Also, in the previous episode, we actually covered that multiple venture capital or small hedge funds will be actually liquidating because they started their fund last year. So we're looking about anywhere from 100 to 200 funds, and we're talking about forced liquidation because due to the mandate. So why the forced liquidation occurs is because the mandate states that in the event that the investment or the fund that was created drops 50%, you're going to have to just liquidate and give back 50% of the proceeds to the investors. Yes, it's not by choice, but it's just that the mandate says so. Now, there is no change, there's no turning back on this, unfortunately, unless the fund had been crafted in such a way that this is going to be a 3 to 5 year blockchain fund, and based on the kind of perimeters within the fund, only then will you not need to cash out. Okay, only then will the fund managers will say, okay, we are going to take the hit, perhaps we hide in cash first, and then, which is also a forced liquidation, unfortunately, and then maybe re-enter. But it's not easy because every fund at the moment, right, is now having the same sentiments. BTC, if they were purely invested in BTC or Ethereum, worse still, it's also 50% to even 60 to 70% losses.
Yep.
Yeah, no escaping. So right now, we are just hoping that once these regulations or this one regulatory approval goes through, you're seeing the floodgates open. Now, when? 6 months from now? 12 months from now? What do we do in between? So
I think it means that a positive regulation by a body could cause the price to shoot up. Meaning, for example, if like a country gets behind it and says, Bitcoin is going to be side by side with our national currency, that is a step.
Sounds yummy.
Yeah.
Sounds yummy indeed.
That's kind of impossible to
I don't know, man. That sounds like unicorns and fairy dust to me, man. I mean, it's like, look, okay, it's like saying the British pounds is going to allow BTC to stand side by side, and we're going to allow our citizens to freely use BTC, and our merchants are going to be able to use BTC. A bit far-fetched, unless I was maybe in a shit country, which we will not name names to avoid any kind of violation or whatsoever. Right. Yep. Okay, next point. We will go into Philippines Economic Zone creating crypto regulations, licensing 25 exchanges.
Going to license.
Sounds good. I think we should probably start there. The Philippines. Look, they are very open to cryptocurrencies from what I understand. Okay, and I think in terms of overall, the exchanges will need to invest USD 1 million within 2 years. Okay, I think it's not a very heavy requirement. At the same time, they must have a back office in the Philippines. They must be registered with SEC. So you see, the key word is that it has to be registered with SEC. So it seems that SEC has a lot of influence here, even though SEC has jurisdiction, but they seem to have a very long arm.
So if SEC says that Bitcoin is okay, that will cause the price to spike.
Well, remember the securities period when SEC was deciding whether Ethereum and Bitcoin was a security? Well, that had an impact on the market, right?
Yep,
volume dip, right?
It
Remember
did.
that? Yeah. So SEC did have a long reach, and it's really the impact of what SEC comes up with. I feel like the different regulations, things like that.
So this 1 million invested, not a big amount, but enough to keep like
smallish exchange.
Right?
Okay, I think with regards to this, right? I think when you say 1 mil requirement, because I think you see. You don't want to create just an exchange, because what I understand, when you create an exchange, right, you can clearly just white label the software. Okay, you can white label the software and practically don't have much capital inside, because you're gonna start doing a little bit of marketing and have zero in terms of funds, because you're getting your members or your users to deposit their crypto first. So you have to have some sort of tokens in there for speculation purposes and trading purposes already. So having a minimum of 1 mil, I think just doesn't really cut it. But if you're going to offer 25 different licenses, I sincerely hope that they have a strong, stringent, or at least a decent framework in place, so that, okay, if you want to be an exchange, these are the criteria. It helps the overall ecosystem.
I read they already have 60 applicants, but I don't know the result.
Definitely, because I'm sure that out of those 60 applicants, I don't know how many of them are going to be legit, man. Because we know for the fact that cryptocurrency exchanges are so lucrative. Okay, and not only that, what we understand is that when the funds flow in, they're going to be using those funds to actually purchase into various types of ICOs, manipulate the movement of the cryptocurrencies that are listed on the exchange, and not only that, they can even pump up or even short the prices and take a position on it.
Yep.
You see? So exchanges have a lot of power. It's just a matter of who is running or funding the exchange. So this is kind of like where this space is headed. So it's a good thing. So CESA is the government-owned corporation tasked to manage the development of the economic zone and free port. So basically, why am I talking about CESA? Because CESA's Economic Zone Authority is crafting rules to safeguard crypto investors. It's good to have these regulatory bodies or at least oversight teams watching over the investors, because let's just put it this way. If I'm in a country like Philippines, I am definitely looking for financial opportunities all the time. It is no different from Myanmar, Thailand, even in Singapore. We are always looking for financial opportunities. But the problem is that a lot of the people are not financially literate. In fact, illiteracy is actually a very big thing that no one admits. There's no one really focusing on providing this kind of education, and end of the day, hardworking people will tend to always lose their money to all these kind of schemes and scams. This is why I'm pretty happy to see that at least there's something happening which is in the Philippines going on at the moment. I mean, look, Mike, we have been in this space. Do you think that it's very easy for an average person to get into?
No, not at all.
Not at all. And you are someone who has an IQ of about maybe 250?
Why, thank you.
But you still invested in...
No,
Never mind, that's another tale for another time, folks.
If I'm a regular person and I see that my government is going into this space, I feel safer going in.
Definitely. Yeah. I would love to have something like that here in Singapore as well. It will also build additional layers of confidence to allow overseas investments to start coming into Singapore, right?
And
so
the next point brings up why we need these kind of regulations.
Yep. So,
2.3 million cryptocurrency addresses are being monitored by a malware. So
it's a clipboard hijacking malware.
So normally, as we all know, when you want to send money to someone, I take the address and I type in the address. And because there's always a high chance of me getting it wrong, I'll copy and paste it. So this malware checks your clipboard, takes the address, and then when you paste it, they send the attacker's address instead. So
this is actually an old malware, by the way.
Yeah, it's old malware.
But I think the audience would really like to know, how did the malware get there in the first place, right? So what do you think?
I can't say online, but going to certain websites, downloading certain shows or programs, or not having the latest antivirus software. So all these kind of things can infect a computer.
So simply put, a .exe file, folks. Right? There's nothing wrong to download stuff. Right? There's nothing wrong to open an email attachment, but however, in the space of cryptocurrency, especially if they know that you are someone who has cryptocurrency, it can happen to anybody, by the way. So the safest thing, we have to be skeptical. We have to be a little bit more careful with our security these days. It's very different from the past where cryptocurrencies had no value. Right now, digital currencies are so popular at the moment that if somehow they knew that you had it, they are even, for example, they call it the SIM card swap, or what they do is a SIM swap. So this, apart from this happening, this is very straightforward, but the higher level one is they will know your mobile number. After that, they'll even contact the various telecommunication companies, pretend to be you, ask, of course, naturally, the operator will be asking questions, right, to try to verify who you are. But then again, they don't know your voice. And then from then, the moment they reveal that, you just say, hey, I lost my SIM card, and I'm going to be needing a new one. And they send the new one and end up, that's how they get the swap done. And from then, if they have already accessed your emails, because you would attach all your exchange logins to the email, that's practically how they get in. And they disable your Google Authenticator. It has happened multiple times. And the reason why all these news are important, or these measures are important, is for the fact that you have to start learning how to protect yourself. So very simple, we would like to just say that you can actually have all these things available on our website. At the same time, we're going to be creating all these self-help videos, right, or how-to videos, so that we're going to be educating you guys on how to secure your cryptocurrencies, use exchanges, and how to invest and look for great opportunities in this bear market. Right?
Well, I think the other thing to mention about copy and paste is, when we do it, we are just lazy to double check the address, right? So therefore, the hackers can hack it. So the moment when you copy an address and you paste it somewhere else, just double and cross-check with that receiving address to make sure that you are sending to the right address. And that's basically all, and you'll be pretty safe based on that. Of course, separate the browser and then separate the computer, isolate the trading computer from everything else, and tendency you'll be pretty safe, honestly. And stop flaunting your wealth all around.
Yep.
They'll be fine.
It is, I don't do it, bro.
Oh, really?
I'm broke, by the way.
Okay, so that's all for the time for CG Market Watch today. If you like what we're doing here, do like, comment, and share our videos, and do click on the subscribe button and click on the notification button. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.